Hello, you beautiful, terrible people, and welcome to a thing that is not my usual thing, because someone did a big respond to one of my videos criticizing their big brain atheism debunk. And you know what? I got to admit, I am a little bit nervous. I mean, what if they refute me so hard that I die to death? I'll never get to drink whiskey again. Although, to be fair, all that is likely to happen is that I cringe at hearing myself in an older video and laugh at some of my big funny jokes TM, while they fail to do the thing that they set out to do, invariably just like in their original video. So, what do you got for us, buddy? I hope it isn't painfully silly.
He's a crusader. Isn't that like, that's a religious thing?
Welcome back to this.
Oh, well done. You spotted the most obvious thing on the entire channel. I am an atheist refuting silly ideas, religions included obviously, but somehow I also have a crusader as an avatar. How could that possibly be? Well, my friend, I'll let you into a little secret. It's called fucking irony. The amount of people who don't get that is frankly freaking staggering to me. And this guy, who you will soon learn, thinks he is really rather bright. Not getting it, well, it bodes not well.
Spiritual Research Center here in Hamilton, Ontario.
I'm sorry. But what was with the circle wipe of all the stylistic choices you could have been made as a sitting in a hole theist, aka someone who doesn't know how to set up a camera properly to frame themselves? Wow, okay, so my god, man, do you ever fidget a lot? It's like you aren't actually paying attention. And I find that offensive. As an extremely attractive and interesting person, you should have rapt attention to me, god damn it. And is totally going to make atheists seem like big, dumb, reality-denying idiots. You just had to use a visual effect that made you look like a goddamn cartoon character. Still funny.
Okay, let's just pause here for a second. He says I look like a cartoon character. Meanwhile, let's just scroll back a second. This guy is literally a cartoon character.
Oh my god, guys, we have one of them level 12 intellects right here. He noticed that I am in fact a cartoon and not a quote-unquote real guy. I think he might have been the first person to ever make that observation. Gonna have to be real careful with how we proceed, lest he melt us all with his mighty brain powers.
Okay, he doesn't have the grounds. He doesn't have the kind of horse to make this kind of wager. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, let me get this straight. So, because I said you made yourself look like a cartoon by accident, obviously, and I am a cartoon very much on purpose, and that is just really fucking funny to me, especially with the merry melodies thing, that is proof positive to you that me am the big dumb and not able to eat a horse or whatever it is he was saying. Well, first, my horse is fucking awesome, and does he think I don't know that I'm a cartoon? Like, seriously, how is this the first thing that he decides to address? Like, just because it's at the beginning of the video doesn't mean you had to respond to it. Because of all the things covered in this video, this is one that is the most likely and obviously a humorous observation, and that's it, meant to be taken as nothing but that. This is the kind of thing that one might expect from someone who thinks that they are far smarter than they really are, considering it's literally nothing.
Like, you know, one of us is a cartoon character literally, and the other one of us is, you know,
Sir Sick, yes, I understand.
Here. So it's like, sorry, dude. Like, you're not... This is the thing. These folks are popular because the ideas and the criticisms they have are easy.
So apparently you have managed to judge the entirety of the content of my video on a single joke. One joke that is in no way a criticism, just an observation. The only point being made is that it is funny that you clearly take yourself very seriously, and yet you use that for your intro. It's hilarious. I seriously don't know how to help you if you don't get that.
It's like, oh, this guy's a cartoon character. It's like, okay, dude, okay.
Silly, because I didn't. You did that. I just added the appropriate music, unlike you and your intro. Yeah, not gonna lie, when making this video, that fucking sound really, it nearly deafened me. It's quite astonishing just how bad his equalization was. It's almost like he's not very good at making videos or something like that. Cause seriously, what the hell is that? Apart from the fact that I had to lower the volume by like 1 million or so in order to not murder everyone's ears, you used the Windows XP sound. It's almost appropriate, as I'm sure your beliefs have been out of date for many years, and if used to do anything important, will ruin your work and probably give you a fucking virus. Can't tell if he found that amusing, or that's like a grr, I'm not mad kind of smile. But I don't live in his head, so I'm not going to assume anything other than he thinks I'm hilarious, because obviously.
Okay, so, the question I would have for Sir Sick is, what disciplines are you advancing?
What the fuck has that got to do with anything? Like, seriously, dude, what disciplines am I advancing because I made fun of your bad video editing skills? Well, I guess making the world of content creators slightly less shit. And of course, comedy, since this is so obviously a comedy-focused channel. And that's not to say that I don't make any points. But, well, he hasn't fucking gotten to any yet. But is asking me stupid shit like this in the intro, a section that I generally use to establish the tone for my content? Not my, I remind you, covering of the most substantive claims of your video. Like, seriously, why didn't you skip ahead? It's truly fucking baffling. I mean, I try not to because, again, it's nice to set a tone, but I did for this because you spent the first infinity million years just promoting yourself. And frankly, I'm not here for that. I'm here to promote Spoon Stuff Stories, Mr. Six animated show, voiced entirely by my sexy self. Go check it out now.
Okay, so the question for Sir Sick and any of his followers who are watching this are what disciplines are you advancing? Because here, I'm putting down some...
And then he immediately jumps to self-promotion again. Fuck, I did it as a joke, although, still check it out. But this man does it unironically, apparently constantly. And you know what? I respect the hustle. You get yours, buddy. You clearly need the money to replace that potato cam and get some video editing lessons.
Interesting things in neuroscience and psychology, specifically developmental psychology and self-psychology. Here, I guess you could say, is a mixture of psychopathology, marketing, and peace studies, as well as, reviewing technology and society. And by the way, this is considered legit by people who have read and liked the Kaczynski Manifesto. I
don't think I've ever said this unironically before, but weird flex, but okay. Like, actually, what the fuck? The Unabomber? People who like the Unabomber's writings, a fucking murdering terrorist, liked your book? Like, I'm not making any judgments on the writings themselves of either book. It's just that of all the comparisons that you could have made, that was the one? Holy shit!
So among people who are like quasi-followers of the Unabomber, this book is considered a legit commentary.
Okay, but let's just ignore the really deranged implications of that and just say this single group of people liked my book. Okay, so fucking what? That's such a meaningless thing to say. It's unimpressive at best and fucking lame at, what it actually is. I mean, my content is enjoyed by a huge range of people, from big brain smart science assholes and lazy jobless philosophers to working class cheeky chappy twats, and from early 20s Gen Z scum to taking up too much room and all the houses boomer filth, and all the terrible people in between. But do you hear me bragging about it? Or calling them nice things? Oh, wait.
So, how many books like that have you written?
You will never know, and yet whether or not I have, that doesn't change the fact that I am perfectly capable, and more importantly, well within my right to make criticisms of people when they say stupid things, no matter how smart they think they are. And anyone who uses their own faulty and false appeals to authority to rebuke me are merely demonstrating the fact that they don't actually have much of real value to say.
Okay, and then there's Ticket to Heaven, which, we'll get into, I'm sure, in a bit.
Please don't. Can you address my actual criticisms instead and not just constantly go on and on and on and on about how smart you think you are? Because it's fucking embarrassing.
I'm your friendly spiritual researcher, Zachary Strong, and today we are going to be talking about how a thought experiment with two cavemen is causing atheists that I talk to completely lose their minds.
Well, lucky for you, I lost my mind many years ago. I think it might be behind the couch, but then I realised I can't think because no brain. And sure, the atheismos are losing their minds about your super smart thought experiment that will make them go, oh no, goddamn must real or something. Just for all your sakes, I skipped a part of my vid that he doesn't address whatsoever. Otherwise, we will be here all fucking day.
Okay, so think about ancient Greece.
For fuck's sake, you and your non sequiturs. Why not think about, I don't know, talking about your fucking cavemen and the shit and obviously flawed point that you were making? It's not like that was the point of the video or anything like that. Christ.
Okay, think about Socrates. Socrates was going around asking people simple questions. Okay, and in our age, a simple question would be, what about the law of conservation? Our universe had to come from somewhere, right?
Oh look, it's more nothing to do with the video. What a surprise. Do you, think this is fooling anyone? Bringing up unrelated topics in what seemed to be an attempt to not actually respond to anything within my video? I mean, at this point, I would take a, you are a cartoon and a knight, I am not level of response if it meant you were actually going to stay on fucking point.
Okay, and then you have the sophists who practice sophistry or rhetoric. And what is rhetoric? Oh, da 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 da. Everything except the point.
You mean the thing that you are currently doing? I guess self-awareness is just for us idiots who may or may not have written books that terrorist fans are into. I mean, okay, cool.
Everything except the point is rhetoric. Okay, and so the point is, law of conservation or whatever. That's not even the point of the caveman video. That's just an example, right?
An example of what? This isn't even rhetoric. It's incoherent nonsense. Seriously, you apparently like to write a fucking script. Or at least, for the love of non-existo, get some bullet points so that you can keep on track. Otherwise, you'll sound like a rambly fool.
Right. But just to show you, right? There's the point, and then there's the rhetoric, everything surrounding the point. This guy, dressing up, not even dressing up, getting a cartoon of a crusader. I at least can LARP a little bit.
This guy, as in me, am the rhetoric because cartoon crusader. I don't think you even know how fucking words work at this point, which makes me wonder if these books are just a series of stick figures in various poses. Although, what's the guessing that he also is the world's greatest arter too because of it? Have never heard that one all the fucking time, and it turns out to be really goddamn stupid and clearly something you haven't actually thought about properly or anything like that. No.
To the point of outright denying reality or saying it's irrelevant.
Wow, that does sound quite impressive. I mean, you can get people to say that reality is irrelevant, or are you getting them to say that your thought experiment is irrelevant and are maybe not quite understanding why they're saying that? And
oh no. I can get atheists to deny reality, probably fairly routinely.
Well, I seriously fucking doubt that, because I watched the video that this was based on where you claimed you could, and I pretty much, and everyone else watching it, understood why that idea was so freaking flawed. So again, I don't think that's what you did, no matter how much you believe that is what was happening. I just think you can't comprehend the responses, because you might be kinda dumb. Hey man, it's okay, I'm dumb too. It just means that maybe you shouldn't expect people to take you seriously. I know I don't.
That's not a huge concern for me at this point, or at least they will deny their own senses in ways that create performative contradictions.
Okay, that actually sounds like something to do with the thing you said in the video. Finally. Although again, it would be nice if we could see you saying that shit, and more importantly, my response, since then you could actually, or I don't know, respond to me in something that I said, instead of what it has been so far, you trying to sell your books and claiming that I am somehow not cut out for this by showing yourself to be absolutely terrible at it. It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Okay, let me repeat. I can get atheists to deny reality or deny their senses to the point of performative contradictions.
Okay, I would love to see it, because I don't know if you know, since you seem to not know a lot apparently, that saying you can do something and demonstrating it aren't actually the same thing. You can sit there all day and tell me you can force atheists to do and say whatever you want, and then you go off and you walk on fucking water or whatever other miraculous feat. But that doesn't mean that I have to believe you. And guess what? I don't.
Okay, and this caveman thing is just part of it. The caveman thing is two cavemen off in a forest meet an angel and talk with an angel, whatever. Like, oh, okay, right? They get back. Not even their wives really believe them, okay? But did the experience happen, even though, like, you know, it doesn't really count for anything in the historical record? Like, did they see an angel, right?
Well, you forgot to mention here that in your hypothetical, we would be treating it as a fact, and at that, then yes. But that doesn't mean anyone has to believe them, including, as you said, their wives. But the thing you didn't seem to be able to grasp is that your hypothetical was exactly that, a hypothetical. It may have happened for realsies in your story, but that doesn't make it an actual thing that actually happened. That's kind of how this shit works. And it is not a denial of reality to deny your fucking stories, mate.
Atheists I've talked to, a few of them, jumped right to this, you know, saying senses, reality, whatever. And I'm like, dude, this is just a thought experiment, right?
What has it being a thought experiment got to do with them trying to unravel and understand it? If you jump in all defensive like and, oh, I don't know, not listen to them, you might just end up coming away with no idea what they were talking about. And fuck, it's your thought experiment. You shouldn't just be hand-waving it away. What is wrong with you?
But because of the kinds of denials that they jumped to, I could intuit the vested interests that they were protecting, which were...
Oh my god, of course he's also psychic. And you know that only the smartest of boys know what other people are thinking, whilst also being clearly fucking terrible at peopling. How about instead of intuiting what people believe or are doing, you, oh I don't know, not fucking do that? And instead, listen to what they have to say and fucking believe them when they say it, instead of deciding that you know what they really mean. And then we won't have to make fun of you for being a ridiculous fuckwit.
You know, if I saw something with my own eyes that was supernatural, I would deny it. That's the territory that they try to protect, okay?
What you see as your intuition is actually what everyone else calls an assumption. And you know what they say about assumptions? They make an ass out of this guy because he big dumb. But even so, the doubting of one's senses when presented with something that literally makes no sense is something that a reasonable person should be doing in that circumstance. Although again, that's not what your hypo boy was about. It was about Og and Bog. And what people were likely doing was denying their senses because they doesn't real. But even if they did, two randos seeing a miracle and then no one ever seeing it again, and with no way to record it and, you know, prove it, makes that demonstration entirely worthless. It is weird that that always does seem to be the case.
But the problem is that the Jewish faith claim is a blockchain and, like, you know, gets past even that psychological defense.
Does it? Would love for you to demonstrate how, but I'm not holding my breath. I need that stuff for aliving.
And so this whole thing is rhetoric around the fact that atheists have trouble with the caveman thought experiment, therefore have a tremendous amount of trouble with the Jewish faith claims.
Your example of a Jewish faith claim was that 500 people saw a thing, therefore that thing must have happened. My response was something along the lines of, I don't deny that they saw it, I doubt that they even existed. Not that we are ever getting to that point, seeing as your video is only 16 minutes long, including all of the needless self-promotion. And mine was likely longer than that, and you are literally only into mine by a couple of minutes so far. And we are already at the 10-minute mark, so unless you can add time-warping powers to your staggering list of abilities, which is why I had to tell you what f***ing happened. If only you could have shown it, but I guess you're just too smart for that.
Right, and they totally wig out when you start talking Orthodox Judaism to them.
I sincerely doubt it, but sure, course they do. I mean, you said it, so it must be true.
Like, Christians have a tremendous amount of trouble with atheists, as we have seen, right? Orthodox Jews, and folks like me who, specialize in the faith claims, among other things, right? It's like we have, an easier time.
No, you all have the exact same amount of trouble, and all sides think, yeah, well, we have the truth, TM, so this is easy, because all I have to do is not listen and then bring up irrelevant points, and then I win. You do it, the Crimsbians do it, the Muslims do it. That doesn't mean any of you are #winning, as you all seem to think you are. It just means that you are all a little bit delusional, at least in this case, when it comes to your success against the atheblabs.
With atheists. So, this guy is like, whatever. It's a cartoon of a crusader. Like, okay.
Okay, indeed, and I think I'm going to call it there, seeing as he never does get into the meat of my video, and we have covered the lion's share of his. But this really does sum the whole thing up, because while I could entertain his ideas and critique them for what they are, he wasn't even intellectually honest enough to get to mine. 0 out of 10, maybe actually listen to atheists next time. It doesn't have to be me, but at least like one of them would do, although I doubt you're even capable of that at this point. Goddamn.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was gonna tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the